This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed says government forces are now in control of the Tigrayan capital. Egyptian President El-Sisi is in South Sudan for one-day state visit. And a SADC security organ meets over events in Mozambique and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Welcome to Africa Live on CGTN with me, Beatrice Marshall, in Nairobi. Also coming up on the program, how an organization in Kenya is turning washed-up flip-flops into amazing, colorful sculptures. And Al Ahly fans burst into celebrations following their club's epic 2-1 victory over Zamalek in the CAF Champions League final. Let's begin with some news just in. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has just announced the Tigrayan regional capital of Mekelle has fallen to National Defense Forces. For more on this, let's cross over to Addis Ababa, where CGTN's Girum Chala is standing by for us with the very latest on that. Girum, there have been reports. Give us the latest on what's going on there.
Well, as you've said, Beatrice, after 2 days of operation on what is called the final assault by the Ethiopian National Defense Force, aiming at controlling the capital city of the Tigray region state, Mekelle. Now that operation has been concluded. The Prime Minister has just announced that the city of Mekelle has been captured with minimum cost, relatively speaking, by the Ethiopian National Defense Force. The same story has also been confirmed by the Ethiopian National Defense Force themselves. The city of Mekelle, strategic locations, including the airport itself, and some other important locations are now in the hands of the Ethiopian National Defense Force. Now, this signals almost the end of the most important mission that the country's administration was calling of bringing down that city under the control of the government. So the city of Mekelle has finally fallen in the hands of the government force, Beatrice.
So there has been reports of intense bombardment in Mekelle, and as you've mentioned, that the city has now fallen. What happens next?
Well, Ethiopia's government mission, according to the leadership here, more particularly the Prime Minister, is first to bring this armed group, the TPLF Special Force, the militia, and the leadership there, to disarm them and also avoid any threat that is going to be posed against the constitutional order in the country. The second and the most important one also the government wants to do next is to bring the people behind this conflict into justice. The final one, Beatrice, is the formation of the provisional administration, which would take the regional state to normalcy in the near future. So authorities here are saying that in the next few days, this process will begin, and they are now chasing the people who are said to be culprits of the conflict that has claimed lots of lives, or even chased so many people out of the country to bring them into justice. So in the next few days, we should be able to hear this. But for now, what we really know is that, and some people are also gaining some relief, that the mission in Mekelle has been concluded with less casualties of people. The government even says that the number of people affected is so minimal based on the data they have before than now, and no damage has been done on the historic sites or infrastructure in the city itself. So for now, this can be taken as a good story, but in the next few days, what's going to happen, we have to wait and see, Beatrice.
Girum Chala joining us there from Addis Ababa on that development in Ethiopia. Meanwhile, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has once again ruled out dialogue with leaders in the northern Tigray region to end the fighting. For more on this developing story, here is Girum Chala again in Addis Ababa. Well, we'll bring you details on that when we can. But for now, let's go to South Sudan, where Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has been in South Sudan on Saturday for bilateral talks with President Salva Kiir. This is the first official state visit by the Egyptian president to Juba, who is promising deeper cooperation between his country and South Sudan. CGTN's Patrick Oyet reports.
South Sudan's government says the Egyptian president is in Juba for a day. President Salva Kiir's office says the visit shows deepening diplomatic ties between South Sudan and Egypt.
President Sisi expressed his readiness to support implementation of the revitalized peace agreement where he is required to help. He also pledged Egyptian full support in alleviating some of the challenges facing us, such as the impact of falling oil prices, COVID-19 pandemic, and recent devastating flood across the country.
South Sudan's government says the meeting also discussed regional stability, including South Sudan's 2018 peace deal's implementation. Egypt has been donating food and medical supplies for South Sudan's armed forces that are in camps for retraining as a result of the 2018 peace agreement. And Cairo is pledging more support for Juba.
We explored ways to promote bilateral relations between the two countries in political, military and security coordination during this critical stage in the region. In addition, we want to pursue economic and trade areas and encourage Egyptian investments in South Sudan for the benefit of the two countries.
The United Nations Refugee Agency says Egypt is a host to 18,000 South Sudanese refugees. South Sudan's government says it also agreed to cooperate with Egypt in the field of water resources and irrigation. Egypt says its vision is that Nile water should be a source of cooperation and development for all the Nile Basin people. Patrick Oyet, CGTN, Juba, South Sudan.
The Peace and Security Organ of the Southern African Development Community has been holding a summit in Botswana. The summit was to focus on events in Mozambique and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Several resolutions were passed including the need to expedite the establishment of a SADC regional counter-terrorism center. Angelo Coppola picks up the story.
The summit was hosted by Botswana President Dr. Mokwetsi Masisi, the current organ chair. Among the resolutions the summit agreed to was to urgently finalize a comprehensive regional response and to support Mozambique. In the past 4 years, Mozambique has seen a growing Islamist insurgency in the north of the country.
Well, it said very little about Mozambique. I think it was probably surprising how little they had to say about Mozambique and really nothing concrete in terms of any planned action, I think.
It's good to talk. We are concerned about terrorism in Mozambique, but they've been concerned for over 12 months. And it's all just statements. So it's all show dressing. There's nothing tangible. And I think it's this realization that there's no substance to be able to do something about the concern.
Questions were also raised about the level of Mozambique government attendance at the summit.
The Mozambican president was not present. The Minister of Defense was. There's a clear message here that the Mozambican government is still not convinced that the SADC can make a difference or do not want them on home soil.
He's not the minister running this war, really. It's the interior minister who's more relevant than the defense minister. So I feel like it's almost a bit of a snub or a sign that Mozambique's not really taking the SADC organ and the Troika particularly seriously as a potential partner in this fight.
Meanwhile, the situation in the northern region is extremely volatile, especially in the province of Cabo Delgado. The insurgents are pressing their advantage, says an analyst.
They are moving closer to Mueda, the heartland, the cradle of Mozambican history. And if they're going to attack Mueda, it will be symbolic, a massive, massive victory for him.
The situation in Cabo Delgado is getting critical and it's very likely to spread further south, and that's the danger. I'm Angelo Coppola for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.
You're watching Africa Live. Still ahead on the program. The World Health Organization urges the DRC to scale up immunization to save children.
Africa is a continent of diversity, with varied climates and enchanting geography, and a people so distinct, but with a shared enduring spirit. We are at the heart of the continent to bring you the untold stories.
Let's have a look.
We celebrate Africa as it shapes its own destiny.
Tunis, Cairo,
Juba,
Johannesburg,
Ethiopia, Tanzania.
Africa Live. Find your voice.
The World Health Organization is urging authorities in the Democratic Republic of Congo to scale up immunization campaigns against diseases like polio and measles to prevent the deaths of children. The call by the global health body comes as immunization rates in the DRC and other African countries declined after the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic. CGTN's Chris Ochamringa has more from Kinshasa.
The DRC government and international health organizations launched immunization campaigns against diseases like measles, polio, cholera, and yellow fever last year. The campaigns continued even after the COVID-19 pandemic struck in March, but they suffered a serious setback. Many parents were reluctant to get their children vaccinated for fear of exposing them to COVID-19.
We noticed that the mothers didn't come with their children. They refused to come with their children in the vaccination. Why we try to know why they refuse to come. Some mothers think that all the hospitals are taking care of COVID patients. Now that they have a fear.
The World Health Organization is now calling on Congolese officials to scale up the immunization services that were disrupted by the pandemic.
We have almost 99,000, almost 1 million children, which have not even received any single dose of vaccine. And this is an increase of 10% compared to last year, 2019. And these are children, unvaccinated children, which can, if no action is taken, could rapidly develop outbreaks. And this is why the appeal was launched.
According to the Vaccine Alliance, the DRC has one of the highest infant mortality rates in the world at 76 per 1,000 live births. Many of the children have been dying of diseases like measles, polio, cholera, and yellow fever that can be prevented by vaccines. The World Health Organization and other international agencies are helping the government intensify immunization services across the country.
We launched an appeal to the parents, wherever they are, but who did not have the opportunity to vaccinate their children during the COVID outbreak, that they are always welcome to the health facilities where they can continue, their children can be vaccinated in order to be covered or protected against diseases.
More than 6,000 people died of measles in the DRC last year, in what health experts described as the world's worst measles epidemic.
In 2018, the DRC government launched an emergency program called the Mashako Plan to tackle the low rate of immunization across the country. The plan helped to increase the immunization coverage in some remote parts of the country. But the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic led to a decline in vaccination rates, raising the risk of a resurgence of childhood diseases. Chris Ochamringa, CGTN, Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo.
Ghanaians are taking advantage of a slash in prices during Black Friday. Most retailers have dropped their prices to boost sales. CGTN's Nabil Ahmed Rufai reports from Accra.
Christmas is in the air. At the Malcolm Shopping Mall in Accra, there is a rush for products from electronic appliances to clothes at reduced prices.
I bought home essentials, provisions, and other groceries, and the prices were very, very good, so I'm excited.
Today has been so fantastic. We've got a lot of customers trooping here to buy more and more.
Unlike in the US, where Black Friday has existed for many years, the concept has only recently caught on in Ghana. Managers of retail shops see Black Friday as a marketing tool to boost sales while clearing goods that have been in stock for a long time.
People plan in advance how to spend during Black Friday. So it's not a matter of deciding on and off. You have a plan, you save money, or you get a big discount, and therefore you know exactly what you want to buy. So the pressure for us is so much, but we enjoy it because it brings in a lot of customers.
It's Black Friday at Mediso, and we're currently running a...
Not all retail shops taking part in Black Friday are experiencing the buzz. While the coronavirus pandemic still lingers, people are avoiding some malls.
Despite the discounts on products, some shops are not seeing high levels of sales during this Black Friday as compared to previous years. They are rolling over the deals into the weekend.
And they want to now focus more on their online sales.
We do not want a lot of people to be coming into our shops and then crowding the place. That will give the possibility of spreading the virus. So in a bit of doing that, we have opened our online stores and customers are patronizing it very, very well. And then there is one bit about it that you shopping there, you get a free delivery.
Those who do choose to troop to the malls say they do it partly for the excitement that comes with the day, but they also observe COVID-19 safety measures to prevent any infections. Nabil Ahmed Rufai, CGTN, Accra, Ghana.
Meanwhile, a digital forum is currently underway in the Senegalese capital of Dakar. The two-day event is seen as a platform for promoting innovative technological solutions. It also looks to encourage and aid innovative young people. 3 young Senegalese were recognized as innovative problem solvers. The event brings together hundreds of digital experts. It is organized by the Ministry of Digital Economy and Telecommunications, chaired by Senegalese President Macky Sall.
Facing the pandemic and its impacts, the best of digital technology has manifested itself by supporting health, education, and many other activities, in particular through teleworking. This also illustrates the relevance of the theme of this edition: digital technology in the service of pandemic management and economic recovery.
In Kenya, one social enterprise is concerned about high levels of pollution in the seas. Ocean Soul has been cleaning up beaches along the East African coastline. The company specifically collects flip-flops and turns them into colorful toys and sculptures. CGTN's Wilkista Nyabwa reports.
The artisan furrows his brow deep in concentration as his blade slices through the rubber, and from the multicolored block of discarded waste, a familiar shape emerges. Sometimes these craftsmen make birds, at other times they make marine animals. Thousands of discarded flip-flops bought at a cost of 30 US cents for a kilogram are weighed and then cleaned in preparation for use.
The flip-flops are collected from dump sites or water bodies. Once they are dry, we sand them to remove the remaining dirt and then pile them together to create a block. From that, you can carve out whatever you want to make.
When Ocean Soul was founded in 2014, its founders dreamt of providing a solution to a common environmental problem. Flip-flops are common, popular footwear. But they stay forever in landfills or make their way into the ocean, choking animals and plants.
A flip-flop is a poor man's shoe. It costs like $1. And the cost of fixing that flip-flop exceeds the actual cost of the flip-flop. So what you have now is a huge menace because everybody keeps on buying and buying and buying.
In 2019, the organization recycled about 1 million flip-flops, turning them into soft, colorful figurines, mostly sold in international markets. And until earlier in the year, the workshop employed 90 artisans. Francis started out as a wood carver.
It got to a point when wood became scarce and the government prohibited the cutting of trees. That's when we heard that someone was looking for people to carve rubber material.
Their work flourished until the COVID-19 pandemic took its toll, forcing Ocean Soul to scale down its operations. However, after several slow months, it is starting to pick up again, and one day soon, the enterprise hopes to expand its efforts.
We have received numerous requests from flip-flop prawn countries, for example, Brazil, Honduras, Indonesia, India, asking us if we can go to their countries and do the same. So we're trying to perfect what we have going on here and hopefully, go out to those countries and do exactly that.
But for now, these artists keep chipping away at the flip-flops. In their own way, they are helping to keep human, animal and marine plants afloat. The flip-flops in the workshop are a stark reminder of all the waste that finds its way into waterways and oceans every year, choking the marine life. However, in the very same breath, these beautiful figurines show that when it comes to environmental conservation, one little action can have a massive impact. Wilkis Anyabwa, CGTN in Nairobi, Kenya.
Let's now take a look at your sports news. Here's what's ahead. Al Ahly fans burst into celebrations following their club's epic 2-1 victory over Zamalek in the CAF Champions League final.
It's just taken me completely out of my depth, but at the same time it's exciting. It's new, it's different, it's a challenge.
It's really exciting.
We start your sport in Egypt, where scores of Al Ahly fans took to the streets in celebration after the Red Devils won their 9th CAF Champions League title by downing arch-rival Zamalek 2-1 on Friday night. It was the first Cairo Derby final of Africa's premier club competition. CGTN's Adel Mahroui brings us the details of a historic night in Egypt.
Africa's biggest club football night was purely Egyptian this year. Zamalek hoped to win the first CAF Champions League trophy in 18 years, while Al Ahly's target was to extend the club's continental titles record. The winner in this final takes all: a new African title, a ticket to the African Super Cup, and another to the Club World Cup.
This match is worth triple the achievements of any other. It's a great honor to host the final in Egypt. I'm proud that one more title will be registered under Egypt's name. But of course, everyone wants their own club to win.
5 minutes into the game, the Egyptian Red Devils took the lead with Amr Sulayya's header. The White Knights unleashed their offensive might, pressing Al Ahly until Shikabala got the equalizer from outside the box in the 31st minute. All match statistics were in Zamalek's favor, with exception to scoring, which Magdi Afsha tipped its scale towards the Egyptian Red Devils just 6 minutes before the main time ended.
Zamalek played very well today. They were great, but we had confidence that Al Ahly would win. I think Al Ahly could have played better though, but honestly, there were tough challenges like COVID-19. To win despite all these challenges is a great achievement.
The streets of Cairo burst in celebrations. Fans jammed the traffic. They sang and danced. They were not only celebrating a new African title, but also their first victory over Zamalek this season.
This is a different kind of happiness. It's a derby, the first of its kind final. This is history happening. We will tell the stories of this day to our kids and grandchildren. It's an event that might not happen in 100 years.
Pitso Mosimane has done it again. He defeated Zamalek twice in the African Club final. The first was in 2016 when he brought Mamelodi Sundowns their first title.
Phenomenal celebrations for Al Ahly fans in the Egyptian capital streets. It's the 9th African title, the first historic victory over an Egyptian team, and the 6th participation for the Red Devils in the Club World Cup. Adel Mahroui, CGTN, from the middle of the biggest celebrations the Egyptian capital has seen in a long time.